Woody, I guess you're looking at people's whole budgets and saying, what cash flow do you need, and stopping the holes appearing in the wall.
Absolutely, it's to fill any gap, isn't it? And the other issue too is, the classification codes that people get issued with. When you start up a company, the code or the classification that you give that company is going to generate your invoice around that. So it's really important that that code is correct. I had a recent example of a client who was a firewood merchant, and they had him under a code for forestry and logging, and you can imagine the levies were really high on that. But his actual role was the logs arrived to him cut from the forestry, and he just simply used a log splitter and a chainsaw and delivered it to his clients. So his appropriate code was, it's a firewood merchant in retailing. So we reduced those levies straight away.
And you would have had an extra cup of tea with him over that.
Yeah, he was very happy.
The interesting part about that is you can have the opposite happen. So you can be on the wrong classification code that's too low, and you go to make a claim because of an accident, and ACC look at that and they say, actually, you're on the wrong code. ACC can go back 6 years and claim under levy payments for over that 6-year period. Now, they quite often negotiate that. But the last thing you want is to have a classification code that's too low, and you end up with a huge bill.
So you actually put your invoice in for money to come to you, and you end up paying them.
And that has happened. Yes, absolutely.
See, what Hank and I do is all about giving people certainty, isn't it? Yep. Certainty that they know that they're on the right code, that they're not going to get unexpected bills like that, and they know exactly what's coming through that door from who. And ideally things will work in conjunction with each other as well.
It's interesting because, and I want to come out with the fact that you two don't sell, you advise.
That's right.
Because, in the old days, you came in and they said, somebody would say, well, you want this, boof, sign there. You must spend a long time just working with people.
Oh, very much so. It's really important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Got to know the
absolutely.
people and what they do.
Yeah, and we've got to, there's an obligation on us to get that right.
Yeah.
We've got to know these things and understand them and understand how they work. And we need to understand how they work when the client's going to claim, because that's the important part. Having an understanding of what it is that triggers that claim, and where it's going, that money's going to go, and how much is going to go. That's the important part.
So I want to call it assurance rather than insurance. Hey, listen, you two, thank you very much indeed.